Okay, in this next video, we're going to talk about designing classroom activities for the flipped classroom. And you may have seen this learning pyramid before, which says that we retain about 10% of what we read, 20% of what we hear, all the way down to 70% of what we say and 90% of what we say and do. This is actually a pretty commonly used pyramid, but it's actually none of this is really based on any truth. In fact, the guy who is credited for making this pyramid said that his real intention with this was to say that we do learn more when we actively engage with the material, though these numbers are completely made up. So that's what we're going to do with the in-class activities. We want our students to engage with the material. And so we're going to use the objectives, the higher order objectives that we had previously looked at in order to design these activities. And so these are the application, analysis, evaluation, and creation objectives. Now, Dr. Stephanie Velegol from Penn State University, she flipped her environmental engineering classroom, and she came up with 4 rules when she flipped. She says that there should be no additional workload. So you can't use the flipped classroom to offload your lectures to home and then create more work for the students to do. So if you're going to flip this, give them time in class to do the work that they would have done at home. Experiential learning in class means that we want to have that engagement. Weekly assessments are also very important. This allows students to know where they are, because if we're going to put them in charge of their own learning, we need to know how much they've learned, and they need to know how much they've learned. So those assessments can be simple quizzes at the end of the week, just so that we can benchmark how good a job they're doing. And finally, she says, as we did earlier with the chunking and the Myers multimedia stuff, is that we want to keep the video segments as short as possible. Keep them into chunks that make sense. So material that is relevant should stay together. So here's one way that you can structure a flipped week. And let me talk about each one of these things. Priming videos, pre-session assessment, in-class exercises, and weekly quiz. So priming, let them try to work out a problem with the knowledge that they already have. What this does brings all of their current knowledge to the foreground so that now they are ready to incorporate it into what they already know. Then they get to watch the videos. But the danger with the videos is students will watch them. They said, I understood the video. I think I know the material. However, that doesn't mean they know how to apply the material, and that's why we never stop with just the videos. After watching the videos, when students come to class, it's important to do some sort of assessment. And this serves really 2 purposes. Number 1, it's an extrinsic motivator. Some students will only do something if there's some point value attached to it. And so put a few points in there, but only a few. It shouldn't be a high-stress assessment. One good question to put in there, though, is one that asks them, what was the thing that they had the most difficulty with, or what is the muddiest point? If you collect this from all the students, then you get an understanding before class. What did the students understand, and what did they not understand? And then when you get to class, you can go over only the areas that people had problems with. These in-class exercises, they should be challenging, though. Apply the knowledge they learned in the videos in a challenging, real-world context. Now, one great way to do this is to use something called peer instruction, which has been popularized by a physics professor at Harvard, Eric Mazur. There's several videos on YouTube about this, but you could do anything. The weekly quiz at the end should be mandatory, and this is going to be worth more points than the pre-assessment. And this is really even should be more challenging than the in-class exercises. And the goal here is that you assess how well the students learned the material and applied the material. And so here are some other methods that you could use for your in-class exercises. And I broke it down to the 3 different Bloom's taxonomies labels: application, analysis, and creation. And so you can do case discussions, simulation, practice, like show me how you suture. For analysis, you can analyze articles, or you can analyze how someone managed a simulation case. Or for creation, maybe they have a project which their job is to create something, like create an algorithm, create a sim case.